We're here with Jinxie and Bandit, who we decided to bring to our family-friendly lecture. Is it working? Did you get it going?
We'll see. I have no clue.
We're having a little
we have
technical
17 minutes.
difficulties. Night-night.
Night-night.
Maybe we should all just go to bed like Bandit's suggesting. It kind of looks like Bandit's going to give the presentation. It's working, babe.
Oh, I'm improvising. Night-night.
It's not night-night, buddy.
Are you helping? Are you? I love baby too.
Work!
Is it working?
No.
Oh, I guess that's why you screamed work. Oh, what a good boy. Love you. I'll give you something. Hold on. Let me grab a treat for you. What would you like? Pine nut?
The bird would find the card, and through this process we realized that this bird became very tame and very friendly, and so at that moment we thought, hey, this is awesome, we filmed the whole thing, let's sell it to PetSmart. Never happened, but we formed a business called BirdTricks.com, and it's flourished since then, where we've been able to help people from the neighbor next door all the way up to David Copperfield on his own private islands to train birds for captivity. So what does that mean? It means we've taken the science of operant conditioning, which is the psychology behind why animals and people do something. And we've taken what we feel to be the most relevant 12 steps and broken that down into stuff that actually is relevant to all of us in this room. So we're here to have fun, we're here to help you guys learn, and ultimately at the end of the day, we want you to have a better relationship with your bird, because we want fewer and fewer birds to end up in rescues or sanctuaries, and more in the arms and the hands of qualified private owners. You know, if it was a regulatory world, it would probably make sense for birds to be regulated or licensed to be able to own, because there's so much you need to learn. And yes, some people get lucky with it, but we're here to help you get through whatever challenges you may have. And I think kind of looking at the list, we have a pretty big diversity of issues. And judging by the African greys and the Amazons, we're gonna have some pretty technical issues where all of this is gonna make a lot of sense. All of this would work on anything from a goldfish to a tiger, which we also work with. So our knowledge is all hands-on. Our knowledge is real-world experience, and we don't pretend to know stuff that we don't know. So this is all stuff that we've learned first off. And,
So we have Maverick, the Harlequin, Rocky, the green wing. Just like, what? And though green wings are like all red. This is Sutton.
Well, this is Libby.
Oh, this is Libby.
it's Mr. Libby.
Mr. Libby. Okay. Timneh. Oh, hello. And is it Liv?
Yes.
Hey, you look good with that shirt. So Liv is an Amazon parrot who tends to be a one-person bird. So our goal of this masterclass was to get the non-favorite person to be able to work with Liv and establish somewhat of a relationship. The first thing that we do is we teach target training. And now the super important thing about target training is that very first introduction of the target stick. You need to do it in a way that doesn't intimidate or scare the bird. And so we usually, Dave or I, will do the very first initial target training with the bird, and then once it's established, once the bird has touched it at least once successfully, then we usually pass it on to the person who needs to work on the relationship. So ideally, a bird will be naturally curious about the stick and just reach out and touch it, either out of natural curiosity or to see if it'll have a reaction when they do touch it. And once you just click and give a treat, they're more likely to do it again. It's just really important not to be too intimidating or forthcoming with the target stick. And just for perspective, this took me a little over a minute to get her to touch it. Because I haven't already established a relationship with Liv, I actually have the owner, but the non-favorite person, come in and give the treat for me. And that's just because I figure that'll make the bird more comfortable at taking a treat.
Cool, good.
Here, Liv's owner is doing the next target, and it takes her half the amount of time as it took me. So literally 30 seconds is what it takes her to get this bird to touch the target again. This is really, really cool, and just keep in mind you need to be patient. Just because your bird doesn't go for the stick automatically and doesn't have that natural curiosity doesn't mean that this training technique won't work. It just means that you need to get creative with how to convince your bird to touch the stick, whether that's using a little bit of luring or maybe holding it close enough to where the bird accidentally bumps it and still gets a click and a treat. However you need to go about it.
Just, yeah. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So one mistake a lot of people will make is they will do the target and then they'll try to give the food out of the same hand, but the stick's still here, and you switch. You gave just the treats. That was good, but be aware of that because that often comes up, and then the bird's confused, or you poke the bird on accident.
Good job.
So now your reward's also, we'll take the stick. His reward is also, her reward is also going to be you sitting down. Yeah, so good. You can keep it a little closer, meet him halfway. Good. Yeah, to that side. Good. Perfect. So that was just a bump on the outside of the beak. Totally fine. All we're trying to do is say, hey, touch this. Mm-hmm. See if we can get him to go all the way to the right side of the perch. Yeah, then hold it steady there.
Very good.
Good.
Where are we? Okay, so I know that you guys have like how you do things, and I'm not trying to totally trying to change it. I'm not trying to, actually I'm trying to change it. Okay, so one of the like funky little nuances about birds, I wish I had JINX here to show. When you go to get a bird, like say from this side, and I want Maverick to step up, I would go with my right hand to his left side because that would be easier and less invasive. Also, if Rocky is attacking Maverick, I am an easy I can save you. He can easily step onto me. And if I'm going for Rocky, it's opposite. I would go with my left hand. Right now, you're going with your right at him. You're showing a treat. You're doing a lot, and it's very how it comes off is very into the bubble. Okay. Whereas this is kind of let me aid and help you while you're getting attacked. This is your escape route. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
It also comes from an area that it's easier for them to step onto versus coming here and asking. Stepping that way is super awkward. Yeah. And either of them put themselves in a vulnerable position for the other guy to be like, no, don't do it, and take him out before he has a chance to do that awkward step up. Okay. So just think of it of trying to make it as easy as possible for them to step onto you.
Can you really step up? We step up.
Good. Yes. Yes.
Boy.
That.
Oh,
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay.
So let's see if we can make this happen. The body language I'm seeing now, I'm not sure. So if you feel at any point like you shouldn't because you'll get bit, then just step back and we'll talk about it, look at it.
So do I tell him step up and then step down right away, or?
So let me show you what I would do with
The nice
Mr.
one.
Libby. Okay.
Libby's gonna be our demo bird today.
Yeah, make sure you're where you can see. Step up. Okay, so he's there. He's back down. And treat. Okay. So I didn't try to walk really far with him. I didn't try to do anything other than just step up. You're steady. Go back down. There's your treat.
Okay.
And you'll notice I did lure a little bit because I don't know this bird. So I put the treat at very obviously you're going to get a treat when you step back down, but he had to step down to be able to reach the treat. Does that kind of make sense?
Do you feel like you need to use a treat in sight for Rocky to step up, or do you feel like he would do it for out of sight?
Let's see what he does. Hey, Rack. We step up. There. Step down.
Good. And that was perfect for placing him to step easily onto the perch. That was awesome.
Don't necessarily change it all in your next repetition.
Right.
But take the next baby step to get closer to where we want you to. And as you're putting him back down, he's going to learn to be less in this area and more towards your hand.
Okay.
And you'll be able to use that, if that makes sense.
Hey, Rack. We step up.
Good. Okay, so this next one, I want you to have him stay on your hand for 1, 2, back down. Okay, so we're going to take small approximations to increase the amount of time that he's on your hand without running up. If at any point you anticipate that he's going to try to run up, shorten how long I suggested and go straight back to the perch.
Okay. Hey, Rack.
So why do you think he just did that?
I was coming in too high. Did you feel
Could be.
threatened?
Maybe too fast?
Okay. Or he's just crabby Rocky.
Hey, it could be that too.
You ready? You step up.
Good. You read that. You increased it, but you saw that he was maybe gonna keep
Teetering.
going, and you went back down. I'm also noticing. Will he let you touch your thumb to his foot?
Yeah.
So I would start making that part of
The trick.
the trick.
Okay.
Okay? Because what we do when we handle our birds, we are holding their feet. We can tell everything about their body language. We can tell if they're startled by something before it becomes an incident.
Okay.
You can just feel it more. So. Part of this, we can control them, but we can control them because we feel what they're anticipating. So in this next repetition, I would suggest you get him to step up. Just gently rest your finger, don't like clamp down.
Right.
Just rest your finger so
So you
he's
can
okay
feel
with the
it.
pressure. And so I can see that as well. And then same thing, same amount of time. Since you're touching the foot, don't increase the amount of time you're doing the step up.
Okay. Hey, Rock. Step up.
Okay. So you did it right since you missed the foot. You were right to put him back pretty quickly. I think that you could even start to extend how long he's on you.
Okay.
Maybe deliver the treat once on her
Okay.
and when he goes back.
Okay.
So do,
Just to make him a little bit more comfortable.
yes,
for
you're
the step
suggesting
up.
she steps up, treat, back down, treat.
Okay.
And I would,
Yeah.
I would take that a step closer, a step further, by when he steps up, and as soon as your thumb touches the foot, I'll click, go and give a treat there.
Okay. Step up. Step up. Step up.
So back off. So we'll do it again. This time approach slowly. back off. So all that body language was that he didn't want to step up. So yesterday we talked about permission-based training and the concept of that being, do you want to step up? And if we start to look at it as a request to see, hey, do you want to interact? Do you want to be my buddy? And if he says no, which all of that was no, then step back and think, okay, why? Potential issue.
The other pattern that was set was that he's only been rewarded on the T-stand, so he hasn't actually gotten rewarded for stepping up. That's why I was suggesting doing it on her.
Does he like almonds?
Yeah, almonds and walnuts.
Cool. You want to try?
Do you want to step? No.
Go for it. Well, at least we know he was way happier with her.
Very clear. Okay, so let him
calm down.
Calm down, yeah. For a sec.
So gorgeous.
He was like, who are you?
I forgot to take it.
So when you think he's ready for the next repetition, you tell me.
Hold on. Oh, I pulled it away too fast.
You startled him a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Part of it's a click and I'm standing behind him, but
Yeah.
okay, so back up. Birds learn very well through failure points. Okay? The fact that he didn't do it successfully, he didn't get the treat, and we reset the behavior, that's going to be much more powerful in the long run with this bird than if we sat there another minute and a half waiting. So we'll reset again. I think one of the things that's playing against us too is every time the clicker's gone, it startled him. So I'm going to muffle a little bit in my pocket.
I usually click with my mouth instead of a clicker.
Okay. I'll do it through my pocket here to see if that makes it a little bit
Sure.
softer for him. Even that startled him right there. Okay, so just go closer to him. Okay. So you didn't see him startle from the clicker that time, so that'll be our short-term solution will be to slowly bring the clicker out of my pocket. Pause.
Look, you want to step up?
Excellent.
Yeah.
So he didn't have to get aggressive.
No, he just didn't move.
He didn't move. So what's going to happen is you're going to get more of that behavior. By you walking away, you implemented what we talked about yesterday, minus reinforcement. You stepping away increase the likelihood for that behavior, which wasn't biting. It was just, I don't want to step up. I'm not going to. And we want to see more of that as opposed to biting at you and then you step away. You're going to increase the biting because you're reinforcing it. Does that make sense?
And I would say I would like try to come over to this side, show him the treat, and if he turns around in interest of the treat, then he probably wants to interact, and if he doesn't, then it's probably not gonna happen. But I would try it and just see, does he have any interest in earning the treat?
Rocky. Hi, Rocky. Come here. Rocky. Look.
Yeah, he doesn't.
So this is an illustration from yesterday where it was Norman Pop and he was saying your treats suck. It's not, the treat's not worth it, or his motivation's not right.
Yeah.
Jinx is like, I'll fly to you.
Hey guys, I wanted to shed a little insight on what you just watched if you made it through the whole thing. So one, I just wanted to share that we do the masterclasses and we do the workshops for parrot owners. It's something that we absolutely love doing. We love educating the public and helping them through their birds' behavioral problems and just how to self-diagnose and analyze their situations and come up with solutions. Also, the master classes are just really, really cool. Sometimes we bring in our own birds to do demos. Other times we don't. It just really depends on the class. But it was actually really funny because there was a lady there with a African gray, and she came in and we were just like, the first thing we ask is, what is your goal? What do you want to fix, or what's the problem that you're having with your bird that you came here for? And her whole thing was just that she wanted her bird to be more active, and she wasn't sure if he was happy because he just seems content and mellow all the time. And so for me, I was just like, I don't really understand, because content means happy to me in my book. And so I wasn't totally sure what she meant. And the more time we spent around her African gray, the more I felt like she was like CRESSI. And she just has a mellow demeanor, and, well, I should say he. He was named Libby, so it threw me off, but it's Mr. Libby. And so anyways, it was really funny. So as the class went on, this is a 4-hour-long class, mind you, she saw all these other birds who were quite high-strung in comparison to this mellow gray who was catching on to everything. And I just turned to the lady and I was like, are you sure you want a more active bird? Because 1, your bird looks completely happy, and 2, are you sure? Because you were seeing all these like crazy birds that are just like go, go, go. And so she was laughing. Her bird was so great, and I think she left with a better understanding of how actually happy and content her bird is. And it's just a personality of a more mellow, low maintenance personality. And so it was really cool. Some of the things you're gonna see us go over is what's called the reset. I have some videos on it, but basically, to give you a quick run of what it is or what it means to take away your attention from your bird for just a few seconds in an attempt to regain the bird's attention. That's kind of what we call the reset. It's just sort of walking away for a few seconds, taking a few seconds, letting the bird realize like, hey, nothing happened except for I lost your attention. How do I keep it? And it's kind of the same for us. We lost the bird's interest, and so we're attempting to keep it. The reset should only be used in conjunction with positive reinforcement, i.e. like giving it a treat or something that it wants. Otherwise, it can become really frustrating because it's basically communicating to the bird what you don't want. So you need to follow it up with what you do want, and you don't want to just be communicating what you don't want all the time to a bird. The other thing that you're gonna notice is that like I kind of chopped pieces because we weren't always filming. We wanted to really be present in the class. But also this is a 4-hour-long class, so what people came in wanting and then what they ended up working on tends to shift and be quite different. And then also the bird is in a totally different environment, so sometimes we don't see the behaviors that they came in to break. So Rocky, for instance, who is the green-winged macaw, he has an issue of staying on the hand. He wants to be on the arm, and from the arm he goes to the shoulder. We never really saw that come into play. He never really tried. But we did notice right off the bat some basic handling skills that were not on par that were leading to this problem. And so that's what we started to kind of go over and everything. So if this was kind of over your head, or you caught little glimpses that you're like, what? I want to expand on that. Our family-friendly parrot formula goes over all of this. Our master classes are held in a variety of places. Just check our facebook.com/BirdTricks, our events. I put them all up there. And then I try to post them in the community tab of my YouTube as well so that you guys can make it to those. They usually sell out really quickly because we can only open it for about 4 spots, which we prefer each person that buys a spot brings a spouse or a kid or somebody who is sharing the living space with that bird. So we've had moms bring their kids, dads bring their kids, wives bring their spouses. We've had everything, even bringing friends or roommates or whatever your situation is. Having another person who's also around the bird is really, really great because it gets everybody on the same page. So yeah, we love doing it, and I just kind of wanted to try to share that with you guys because it's a different aspect of something that we do that is normally really hard for me to videotape or share because things are taken out of context, and it's like, what parts do you share and hope somebody can get something out of? Because it's such a long class that I'd actually have to have somebody professionally videotaping and editing for it to make any sense. So hopefully you guys got something out of it and enjoyed seeing it.